He is the quintessential Hollywood cowboy, an icon forged from granite and sheer grit. His voice, a low, gravelly rumble, seems to carry the weight of the American West itself. For over 50 years, Sam Elliott has been a constant, comforting presence on our screens, a symbol of quiet strength, unwavering integrity, and old-school masculinity. From his early days in westerns to his legendary turn as the stranger in The Big Lebowski, Elliott has crafted a persona that feels both larger than life and deeply, authentically real. He is, in the simplest terms, the coolest guy in the room. But what happens when the man who embodies such unshakable toughness is confronted by a moment of profound on-screen tragedy? What happens when a single scene, filmed decades ago, is so powerful that it leaves a lasting mark? This isn't just about a day's work on a film set. This is about a performance, a friendship, and a fictional moment that has been given a tragic weight by real-life events, a ghost that lingers on a celluloid strip, frozen in time. Sam Elliott, the man with the iconic mustache and a voice that sounds like it could move mountains, is known for his tough-as-nails persona. But there's one on-screen moment from 1989 so emotionally devastating that it's become the stuff of legend. In this video, we're uncovering the powerful story behind a scene that has stayed with fans and, one can only imagine, the actor himself for decades. This is the story of the man behind the myth, a look into the heart of a performance that cost more than just a few grueling days on set. It's a story about friendship, loss, and the surprising vulnerability of one of Hollywood's most enduring icons. To understand why one scene from 1989 could have such a lasting and profound impact, we first have to understand the man himself. By the late 1980s, Elliott was already a well-established figure in Hollywood. He had cut his teeth in the late 60s and 70s, with minor roles in classics like Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid and guest spots on Western shows like Gunsmoke. These early parts helped cement his screen persona, the stoic, morally grounded man of the frontier. He possessed a rugged appearance and a calm demeanor that felt like a throwback to a different era, but this image was not without personal cost or struggle. Acting was a dream that took root in him from a young age, but it was a path his father, a practical man who worked for the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, deeply disapproved of. The tension was never resolved. When Elliott was just 18 years old, his father died of a heart attack, leaving behind a wound that would fuel his ambition for a lifetime. He gave me that proverbial line, "You've got a snowball's chance in hell of having a career in Hollywood," Elliott later recalled. And I think on some levels that was either hard on me or made me more focused in my resolve to have a career. This resolve carried him to Los Angeles, where he worked construction jobs to support himself while taking acting classes. This unwavering integrity, this sense of a man who knew exactly who he was, became his trademark. It was this quality that producer Joel Silver wanted when he was casting the 1989 action film, Roadhouse. Silver specifically sought out Elliott for the role of Wade Garrett because of the baggage he brought, the years of lived experience and the inherent authority that radiated from him without a single word of dialogue. Roadhouse was a unique beast. It was an over-the-top, unabashedly 80s action flick starring Patrick Swayze, who was riding the colossal wave of success from Dirty Dancing. Swayze played James Dalton, a cooler with a philosophy degree from NYU, hired to clean up the most violent, chaotic bar in Missouri, the Double Deuce. The film was a blend of martial arts, bar brawls, and a surprising amount of philosophical musing. It was absurd, it was bombastic, and it was glorious. For the crucial role of Wade Garrett, Dalton's mentor, best friend, and the only man on earth who could call him amigo, the casting of Sam Elliott was perfect. He wasn't just a sidekick, he was the film's backbone, the seasoned warrior who had seen it all and served as the story's moral and emotional anchor. On set, the chemistry between Elliott and Swayze was immediate and undeniable. It was more than just acting, a genuine camaraderie and mutual respect blossomed between the two men. In a later interview, Elliott described Swayze as the sweetest guy you can imagine, an incredible gentleman. He recalled being impressed by Swayze's humility despite his massive fame after Dirty Dancing. Their dynamic, Swayze's youthful, controlled intensity paired with Elliott's world-weary, no-nonsense wisdom, elevated Roadhouse beyond a simple action movie. It gave the film a soul. Wade Garrett was the Gandalf of bouncers, the grizzled veteran guiding his younger counterpart through the chaos with a quiet, confident charm. This deep professional and personal connection is the first key to understanding the story that follows. This wasn't just another job for Sam Elliott. He wasn't just playing a part, he was building a tangible friendship, both on and off screen. This deep investment would soon collide with one of the most brutal and emotionally taxing scenes in the film, creating a perfect storm of fictional grief and real-world connection. The scene in question is the on-screen death of his character, Wade Garrett. In the narrative of Roadhouse, it is the critical turning point. It's the moment the film sheds its swaggering, beer-soaked skin and becomes a raw, vengeful revenge thriller. Throughout the movie, Wade serves as Dalton's anchor. When Dalton is consumed by the violence of his past and the escalating chaos in the town of Jasper, it's Wade who flies in to back him up, to offer a steady hand and a calming voice. He is Dalton's conscience, his big brother, his only true equal. The setup to the death scene is tense. The film's villain, the corrupt and sadistic businessman Brad Wesley, realizes that to break Dalton, he must first remove his support system. After a brutal confrontation, Wesley issues a chilling ultimatum over the phone, threatening to kill either Dalton's love interest, Dr. Clay, or Wade Garrett. Dalton rushes to protect the doctor, leaving Wade vulnerable. What follows is one of the most memorable and gut-wrenching sequences in 80s action cinema. Dalton returns to the Double Deuce Bar, the place he and Wade had reclaimed from thugs and lowlifes. The bar is quiet. He sees Wade, slumped over a bar stool, his back to the door. Dalton, relieved, calls out to him. But there's no response. As Dalton gets closer, he sees the blood. He turns Wade around to reveal a horrifying sight. A large hunting knife is plunged deep into his chest. The raw grief that Patrick Swayze portrays in this moment is legendary. His howl of anguish is primal. But for the man lying on the floor, the actor tasked with embodying the final, still moments of a beloved character, the experience presents a unique psychological challenge. Filming a death scene requires a complete surrender, a physical stillness that runs counter to every living instinct. For any actor, it can be a deeply uncomfortable moment. Elliott had poured himself into the character of Wade Garrett. He had built him from the ground up, infusing him with his own brand of quiet dignity. He had forged a genuine bond with Patrick Swayze, a friendship that mirrored the one their characters shared on screen. To lie there, lifeless, and be the focus of his friend's fictional grief could easily create an emotional bleed that is difficult to contain. The lines between performance and reality can blur in a way that is profoundly unsettling. This experience is not entirely unique. Many actors find certain scenes difficult to revisit. It's a common phenomenon for performers to avoid their own work, often out of self-criticism or the desire to leave a character behind once a project is finished. Actors like Reese Witherspoon, Johnny Depp, and Javier Bardem have all expressed a reluctance to watch their own films, fearing it would stir up feelings best left in the past. But for anyone watching, there is no denying the power of the scene. The combination of Elliott's convincing portrayal of a life extinguished and Swayze's devastating reaction creates a cinematic moment that is emotionally scarring for the audience. One can only speculate on the emotional toll such a scene takes, but the on-screen result is a moment captured on film that is difficult for anyone to forget. The impact of Wade Garrett's death scene didn't fade once the camera stopped rolling. Its emotional residue is a huge part of what has made Roadhouse a cult classic. The film became a cable television staple, its iconic one-liners and brutal fight scenes replayed endlessly. For fans, Wade Garrett became one of Elliott's most beloved roles, and his death remained a shocking and powerful moment. The reluctance some actors feel to watch their own work is a form of self-preservation, an emotional boundary drawn around a difficult memory. For an actor, the act of watching a past performance can mean reliving the emotional and psychological strain of a particular day on set. Then, in 2009, the fictional grief of that scene was cruelly echoed by a real one. Patrick Swayze, Elliott's friend and co-star, passed away after a valiant battle with pancreatic cancer. He was only 57 years old. Swayze's death cast a long shadow over their shared work, and for fans and collaborators alike, it imbued the death of Wade Garrett with a new, unbearable layer of poignancy. The scene was no longer just about the fictional death of a beloved character. It now served as a haunting reminder of a real and cherished friend who was gone forever. It became a time capsule of a friendship, a moment of shared creative intensity, now forever tinged with the sorrow of a life cut short. The lines between fiction and reality, which can blur during a performance, had now tragically merged. This is the core of why the scene is so heartbreaking to watch today. A film is a fixed object. It doesn't change. It captures a moment and preserves it perfectly. For most of us, that's a source of comfort. But for an actor, it can also be a trap. That scene in Roadhouse is a permanent record of a moment of intense, albeit manufactured, grief. But it's also a permanent record of his friend, Patrick Swayze, young, vibrant, and in his prime, reacting to that grief. Watching it is like looking at a photograph of a lost loved one, but a photograph that moves and breathes and screams in anguish. It's a memory made painfully, vividly alive. This sentiment reflects a deeper truth about the acting profession. Actors are often asked to draw from their own lives to bring authenticity to a role. For his role as the aging cowboy hero in the 2017 film The Hero, Elliott spoke about the vulnerability required of an actor, how the line between the character and the self can sometimes be whisper-thin. He noted how people often mistake the character for the actor, not understanding that what they see on screen is what he does, not who he is. Yet, in the case of Wade Garrett, the bond with his co-star became inextricably linked to the work through their friendship and the tragedy of loss. The role of Wade Garrett required him to be the seasoned veteran, the mentor, the protector. And when that protector fails, when he is brutally murdered, it strikes a deep chord. The reason Wade Garrett's death is so impactful to audiences is because Elliott made him so real, so likable, so fundamentally decent. He poured his own innate integrity into the role. And perhaps, in doing so, he left a small piece of himself on that barroom floor. The scene is a powerful piece. Of filmmaking, but it has also become a memorial. It is a moment of profound sadness, captured forever, and some memories are too sacred, and too painful, to be put on display. The story of Wade Garrett's death scene is more than just a piece of Hollywood trivia. It's a profound look into the heart of a performer and the nature of art itself. It peels back the layers of one of Hollywood's most iconic personas to reveal the vulnerable, sensitive man beneath. For decades, Sam Elliott has been the embodiment of the strong, silent type. His characters are often men of few words but deep conviction. We, the audience, look to them and see a rock, an unshakable force. But this moment in Roadhouse reminds us that this persona is a performance, a craft honed over a lifetime. The man who plays the rock is not made of stone. He is a human being who feels deeply and forms powerful connections. In an interview for his film The Hero, director Brett Haley spoke of wanting to capture the side of Sam Elliott he got to know personally, a sensitive, caring, and incredibly vulnerable person. This story illustrates that vulnerability perfectly. It reveals the hidden cost of a powerful performance. We see the final product, the polished scene, the emotional impact it has on us as viewers. We rarely consider the emotional toll it takes on the actors who must live inside those moments. The intensity of the scene, combined with the real-world friendship with Patrick Swayze, created a cinematic moment that still lingers. This story also deepens our appreciation for his craft. The reason the death of Wade Garrett is so effective, the reason it lands like a punch to the gut for the audience, is precisely because of the genuine emotion that fueled it. Elliott's performance wasn't just technically proficient, it was emotionally honest. He allowed himself to go to a place of vulnerability, and that authenticity is what makes the character so beloved and his death so tragic. We feel Dalton's loss so acutely because we can sense the real connection between the two actors. Furthermore, the story transforms our understanding of Sam Elliott's iconic image. It doesn't shatter the tough guy persona, it enriches it. It tells us that true strength isn't about being impervious to pain. It's about having the courage to be vulnerable, to feel deeply, and to have the wisdom to protect your own heart. The man with the gravelly voice and the steely gaze is also a man who mourned a friend, whose work is now forever tied to that loss. This duality makes him not less of an icon, but more of a man. It makes him more relatable, more admirable, and more human. His long and storied career is a testament to his dedication and talent. From his Oscar-nominated turn in A Star Is Born to his powerful work in the series Star 1883 Star, where he once again played a tragic, complex character grappling with immense loss, Elliott has consistently delivered performances of incredible depth. His work in Star 1883 Star as Shea Brennan, a man who loses his entire family, shows an actor who is unafraid to explore the darkest corners of grief. It's possible that the seeds of that emotional bravery were sown on projects like Roadhouse, where he learned firsthand the power of inhabiting such profound sorrow. Ultimately, the story behind this one scene from 1989 is about memory. It's about how art can freeze a moment in time, for better or for worse. For anyone who loves the film, the death of Wade Garrett isn't just a plot point. It's a confluence of professional craft, personal friendship, and profound loss. It's a memory of Patrick Swayze, a memory of a difficult scene, a memory of a fictional death that feels all too real. It serves as a powerful reminder that behind every iconic character, every memorable line, and every unforgettable scene, there is an artist, a human being, leaving a small piece of their soul on the screen for the rest of us. Sam Elliott's story is a powerful look at the human side of Hollywood, a side we don't often get to see. If you enjoyed this deep dive into film history and the stories behind the scenes, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss our next video. We love uncovering the tales that make these classic films and legendary actors so timeless. Now we want to hear from you. What other actors' on-set story fascinates you? Is there a scene you've always wondered about or a performance that you felt had a deeper story behind it? Let us know in the comments below. Your suggestions might just become our next deep dive. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.